we all set a lot of very, very ambitious things, right? How do you start to plan such a thing, right? So all of you came to your companies in different stages of your leaving a mark in your companies. We are at least trying to do it with our clients. And it's always the same challenge. You go to a situation that is given. You have sales guys. Usually sales guys don't like marketing guys. You have marketing guys. Usually they don't like sales guys. You have the CEO trying to understand why he or she are paying so much money to get those leads in. And there is those guys from the marketing operation that are saying lead nurturing, and the scoring is 65, it's 65. Nobody really understands if it's good or bad. So how do you start to plan such a machine?
I think, Kfir, maybe just to understand and answer, because there are different stages, maybe we can ask the audience, where do we state in terms of the number of leads you're getting? Where are the challenges that you're currently facing?
Okay, so first of all, there is over there, Udi, can you raise your hand? There is over there a microphone for the audience. Okay, so if you want to ask questions.
Yeah, give us some insights. Are we talking?
How many companies here are having more than 100 leads per day coming to the systems? Okay, I think this specific direction was a disaster. Let's say something else.
Okay, so we're, building it from scratch, right? Okay, so I think Dori mentioned making sure that the infrastructure, the technology around it is structured, and we have the ability to start something from the basic throughout the full process. I completely agree with that. However, I think the challenge here when building a machine is to make sure that we are not tracking or we are not forcing into different things that are required in a later phase right from the start. For me, again, based on my experience, growing to where you need to grow and doing the steps, in each step you discover different challenges. We said challenges, right? There are no problems. We just challenge. Exactly. So in each step, you discover different challenges, and you need to solve them when it happens. I think infrastructure is important, and I'm going back to this point, but I wouldn't necessarily make sure that the whole machine is ready before, the very basic. We have people coming to our website or starting again, assuming it's inbound. If it's outbound, then we have people starting to making phone calls and things like that. So I think the first step is clear, making sure we have something to work with, and then build it accordingly. For me, one of the things that is really important, especially at the beginning, is measuring everything. Really, I'm a freak of analytics and numbers and things like that. I assume you all are, at least to some degree. But when you start and build something from scratch, you need to be obsessive around numbers in order to make sure that you have something going on. I'll mention maybe later about going in too much analytics, but I think I spoke too much.
Okay, a couple of pointers, the way I see what you should start doing to build your sales and marketing machine. First thing, try a few different things, okay? Go for your best bet for who you think your customers should be. Go for your best bet for what's the easiest way to bring them in. Once you see something is working, very quickly plan a machine which will allow you to scale it on a galactic scale. Now, when I say galactic scale, it's not selling to 2 customers a day, it's selling to 20,000 customers a day, okay? Plan a machine that will be scalable. If you plan something that's only good till 3 or 10 or 20 customers a day, you will very quickly get stuck. So once you see something is working, and be flexible while you're trying out new things, and even though we're all data fanatics and we love analytics, you need to show some flexibility when you're trying different options and checking different customers. Maybe later we'll talk a bit about how to qualify customers. try a few different things. Once you see something that's obviously working, scale it, but build a machine that's far bigger than what you currently need. If you don't, you're only going to get stuck in 3 or 6 or 12 months, and you'll discover that the machine you built is too small for your needs. That's one thing. The second thing is how to incentivize people and optimize the value chain. At Panaya, what we did is we made sure that no one judges or measures their own work. And what do I mean by that? If I'm in marketing, my team is measured on how many MQLs, or marketing qualified leads, we create every quarter. We don't get to judge how many we created, but the next link in the value chain, which is the sales development department, they give us our scores on how many MQLs we created. We only submit for their review what we think are MQLs. They can either accept or reject them, and we have a whole list of rejection reasons they can choose from. And if they can't reject it, they accept it, and we get an MQL counted, and our salaries depend on that at the end of the month. Now, the sales dev people, they have a quota of qualified leads. They don't get to say how many qualified leads they created, but they actually submit calls, intro calls with leads to the sales department. The sales department can accept or reject an intro call. If it's accepted, sales dev get a point and it's counted as a qualified lead, and their salary depends on it. Sales have a quota of dollars, how many customers and dollars they need to sell. They don't get to say how many customers they sold to. The customers either write a check or they don't. Now, doing this may sound obvious, and salespeople are used to working like that. Marketing people are not used to working like that. Marketing are not used to being measured. Marketing are used to be the people who make the nice brochures and a pretty website. That's not the way modern marketing works. If you can't justify your value to the business, if you can't explain why you will be missed if you're not there, you're not going to find a job in 3 years. You have to show how you're driving business, and the way of doing that is trusting enough in what you're doing and setting it up for success so that the next link in the value chain can judge your success. And put 1/3 or 1/4 of your salary, make it performance-based. Every person on our team, including the Marcom manager, the automation specialist, the online marketing manager, and of course the regional marketing directors, a big part of their salary, at least 1/4 to 1/3 of their salary, is performance-based every single month. We set them goals every quarter. If they meet them, they get the salary. If they achieve it, they get more than that. If they exceed, they get overachievement. If they don't make it, they don't go home with the money. It's as simple as that, just like salespeople. And you'd be surprised how pinpointed everyone is on what's going to drive business and what I should be doing now, because we always have 20 different things to choose from. What am I doing this morning? If I think of what am I measured on and what do I need to produce now that will drive business and help me make my salary, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm not going to tweak the pretty website and make sure that the banner is a little bit straighter on the right, because it doesn't matter. I'm not measured on that. It can be ugly as long as it works. That's it.
I just wanted to add, a lot of times I've encountered companies where the tracking mechanism isn't built right, so not all incoming visitors or lead are 100% tracked. And I think that the basis for optimizing marketing activity has to be, we have to know exactly where the lead came from. And one of the problem is that if once we had only very traditional marketing channels, when you look at social marketing or content marketing, which is a bit harder to track, and when you get visitor who saw you on 5 different campaigns, then it becomes a bit trickier. There are solutions, and we should make sure that we cannot use an excuse saying there's no way in tracking someone that saw a status we had on Facebook and then Twitter. Everything is measurable today. Everything is tracked. Technology, I think, provides us with very good capabilities of knowing where the leads came from. There would always be leads that just called us and we won't have any idea where they came from. But at least when we talk about online campaigns, we must make sure that our system are able to track exactly the history of the visitor and all of his activity.
I want to ask, you mentioned find the simplest leads. What is the simplest leads to find? Is that the cheapest leads? Is that the easiest to find? What's the simplest?
Right. I was talking about the leads that are easiest to sell to. Obviously, those are going to be the one that open their morning by searching for your company name plus how do I place my order. You're not going to find many of those, but credit card in hand, running at you with a PO. You want to start with those, but you're going to quickly have to expand. At Panaya, we changed our marketing shift year by year by looking at what were our most likeliest bets and who's going to be most likely to buy. At a certain point, we finished what we thought were the low-hanging fruits that everyone likes talking about. We found them by content marketing that maybe we'll elaborate on later, by event marketing. And then we had to do a more of a top-down approach. We finished the bottom-up. We met everyone that came to trade shows. By the 4th year at the trade shows, 95% of the people we were scanning and getting business cards from were already in our CRM system. So we had to do something else. And so we started a data analyst team. The head of our data analyst team is standing there drinking his beer, Sergey. Say hi. Sergey started an amazing team. I just want to tell the success story because I think it's interesting. If you can identify your market, and we decided our market are corporate enterprise companies with an annual revenue of $250 million and more with 500 employees. Now make up your own criteria of what you think your market is. What we asked Sergey's team to do is go ahead and buy all the databases and all the technology you need. I want to know the list of all those companies in my target countries all over the world. We found about 28,000 companies who met those criteria. Then we asked them to deduplicate that list against our CRM system. So set aside everything we already know about. Now go to those companies that are in the target or addressable market and are not in my CRM system. Search through databases like Discover.org, like LinkedIn, use tools like Mintigo, like LeadSpace. There are a million tools out there. Find which of them are running SAP or Oracle, because that's our target audience. Once you have the company, I want to talk to someone from IT responsible for the ERP system. Go search for him on LinkedIn, on Discover.org, wherever you can find him. There are different databases in France. There are different ones in Germany. Go find the contact person. I want his email. I want his phone number. And then pass that on to sales dev so they can call him. And that's what Sergey's team did. They created thousands of warm accounts of MQLs that we had no idea were out there. They were not in our CRM system. They were not showing up at trade shows. They were not answering emails that we were sending through third-party lists. And by the end of Sergey's project, which is at its final stages in the next couple of months, we're now confident that we have at least 95% of our addressable market in our own CRM systems. That's where you want to be.